So why doesn't everyone implement an ERP system if it's so great and has so many benefits? Well, ERP systems are very expensive traditionally. The software costs a lot of money to buy. Traditionally, you had to buy a lot of hardware for that software to run on, and the implementation costs a lot of money. Consultants like us are expensive. However, there are some things with that high cost of entry. Some of the most recent developments in our ERP industry, first of all, is Sas Pricing, and that's taking the high cost of buying software, buying hardware to run it on, having a large IT department to support all of that and maintain all of that, wrapping all of those costs together into one single software as a service price where you're paying for your software quarterly or yearly and covering all of those costs, and therefore using economies of scale to make those costs a lot lower and buying your software that way, as opposed to running your software in your own server closet on your hardware with a person to maintain all of that. You're able to take advantage of the economies of scale and let Oracle handle all of that for you, charge a rate for it, but make it much lower than if you had to pay for all of those things yourself. Then secondly, the ERP software companies have come around in the last several years to recognize that even though smaller companies have big company problems and they still need robust solutions, they should have solutions that are priced just for them, and they do today. On the implementation side, specific to the solution you'll see today, there's a solution called Suite Success, and this is packaging together a configuration of best practices for your industry, pre-built reports, and dashboards, and user roles that someone in your industry would typically use, starting the software with that configuration and those reports built and those dashboards already ready to go. So the first time you ever log into your brand new software package, instead of seeing a blank screen that takes consultants months of time to configure, your system is there and it's ready to go. So that's called Suite Success. Our goal with Suite Success is to get you up and running in a new ERP system within 100 days, which used to be kind of a crazy proposition. Trillium has done that several times, and it is possible and very achievable. The other thing about implementation is it's one of those things like tattoos. You don't want to pay for the cheapest one you can find. We want to do implementations right. We want to do them once the right way. We don't want to have to do it over here in 2 or 3 years. So the cost can be a little bit high, but really that's one of those costs it's really worth it to do it right the first time. High risk is another barrier to entry. So, we understand what the cost is, we're ready to pay that, but hey, we can't obviously shut our company down. We can't stop shipping to our customers. We can't stop invoicing. We have to mitigate the risks of this project when we go live. So there are a number of things that we recommend here. We do have some content and a web series around ERP success factors, and I'll kind of summarize those here in just a couple of minutes. We could spend hours on this topic, but what we found over hundreds of ERP implementations is that there are some common themes that if you focus on these, you really can mitigate your risk. First is follow a proven methodology. Most consulting companies have methodologies. Ours has grown up and continued to evolve over 25 years from a variety of different methodologies that have come together to form what we think is the best way to implement ERP and an award-winning way to implement ERP. But we typically recommend that you follow the steps that have been prescribed and documented as ways that work, rather than kind of on the whims of what people think as we're doing this. Number 2 is make this a business project, and I mean that as opposed to an IT project. Although the IT department typically does have responsibility for helping to select the right product, helping to maintain and run the product, certainly helping with the project and making sure that we do it the right way. But we want this project to ultimately be owned and driven by the business because it's a result of a business need. To that end, we highly recommend, to the point of demanding, that this project be sponsored by a business executive, someone who has the power of paychecks to make sure that everyone on the project is acting in a way that supports the company, that drives the project forward, that's not dragging their feet and afraid of change and demanding that we keep doing things the way that we've always done them. The team from your side of the business, of the project, what we call the core team, your subject matter experts, need to be your best people. It can't be the person that you hired last week. It shouldn't be a person that's going to retire next month, but it should really be the best people that you have in your business, the people that you probably can't afford to give to this project. Those are the best people, the people that we need to make sure that this project goes well. We need to include change management, because no matter how great of a system you choose, no matter how great of a methodology we follow, if your people don't want to do it, we're going to have some problems. So we need to articulate why we're doing this project. We need to articulate that people are not getting laid off. We need to announce to everyone the business benefits that we're going to see as a result of this project. We need to constantly communicate the status of the project, and we need to include people into some of the decisions we make so that they get some buy-in. We have many more change management ideas and techniques built into our methodology, but certainly that's something that we want to focus on and include in our methodology. We always tell people to start on data now, and by now we mean today. If you're considering an ERP project now or 2 years from now, it's never too early to start on your data. Your data, no matter which system you're coming from or going to, data is going to be the hardest part of your project. Today, you can start looking at your customer master and removing duplicates. You can start looking at your customer master and getting cities out of the zip code field. You can start looking at your item master and removing items that are obsolete. That type of data analysis is very manual. It takes a long time, and it has to be done by somebody at some time. You might as well start on it now. And then finally, see this project as the beginning of a continuous improvement. When we go live with your new system, it's not the last time we'll ever do anything. The system you have today might have been customized over the course of 25 years. In the next few months, we probably can't replicate all of that customization, but we can get you a modern system that helps your business and works for you over the next few months, if we assume that after that we'll continue to improve this project as we go. So the go live date is not the last date in this consideration.